right, as I mentioned before, you can find our syllabus under our syllabus section of our Blackboard shell. So here is our syllabus. I'm going to open it up and we're going to walk through it just a bit. Here we go. Make it a little bit bigger. Here is my email address if you need to contact me for any reason at any time. And please do so. If you have any questions, when you're turning in your lab sheets, you will need to use that email address in order to contact me. We are meeting online. We have no plans to meet in person at all this summer. Our meeting times are officially 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. online, Monday and Wednesday. All that means is that I guarantee that I will be available to answer questions at those times. I will probably each week make a set schedule that says, hey, from 5 until 6, I will be online sitting in the chat room ready to answer questions. So I think I've already put that link on Blackboard, but I can put another one up. And that's where I will be hanging out from 5 to 6. And so feel free to pop in at any time, ask me a question. If you ask a good question, I will record it and then make sure that I post that video for the rest of the class to share. Now, just throwing it out there, those videos will remain absolutely private. Only the individuals in our class will have access to that video. If you are shy for any reason about appearing in a video, just let me know beforehand that you don't want me to record it, and I won't. I promise I won't. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. I just want to make sure that if we have a really good discussion where things get talked about and we get to, talk or discover, explore, explain various topics in this class, I just want everybody to be able to have access to that. So that's the only reason for the recording. So I will probably meet at a specific time at, like 5 to 6 or whatever works. But the rest of the time that evening from 5 to 9, I'm absolutely available via email. If you have a question or if you want to hop online, just let me know. Like if it's after that time, if it's like now 7 o'clock or whatever, let me know and I will be happy to chat in person with you. So I am completely available during those times. I am available via email throughout the rest of the week, but I do have a day job. So on the days that I am not teaching, I only check my email once a day. So please make sure that if you have an assignment coming up or if you have questions about something with a deadline, make sure that you contact me early. I will get back to you within 24 hours, but I only check my email once a day. And I'm not very consistent about what time during the day I check my email. So please know that it's important to do your work early. Don't wait until the very last minute. There's a good chance you won't get a hold of me if you wait until midnight Sunday night. There's a very good chance I won't be able to answer your questions before things are due 5 p.m. on Monday. So just keep that in mind. I will let you read through the course description on your own. For our textbook and materials, you do need these 2 textbooks. If you do not have them, please let me know immediately. We need to get you this human biology lab manual, and then also our textbook. I'll let you read through the course objectives and learning outcomes on your own, and also read through this section of the course design. Now, a lot of this has changed and will probably change again. For example, I say that I will be hosting virtual hours via Google Team meetings. For now, we're going to try using Zoom. If that becomes an issue, then maybe we'll switch over to Google Team meetings. I was concerned that all students would have to come up with a Gmail account in order to access Google Team meetings. So that might change in the future, but for now, we're going to be using Zoom. Our specified time is not specified. I'm not entirely sure when we're going to meet each week. I will for sure post an announcement, say I will absolutely be available from 5 until 6 or 5 until 7 or 7 till 9 or what have you. But we're just going to kind of have to see and play it by ear, see what works best for the majority of students and what works best for everyone's schedule to have a specified time. You will not ever be required to attend these. Now, at least twice in the semester, I do want you to submit me a discussion question. So at least twice in the semester, you need to hop on and ask a content-related question, or you need to send me an email with a content-related question, and that will be for discussion and participation points. But I'm not going to require you to meet at a specific time every single week. I know everybody's lives are a little too hectic for that, and you've signed up for an online course for a reason. So course expectations, I will let you read through these on your own. In terms of our laboratory assignments, we have 13 labs. We have 13 labs assigned for this semester. I will only be grading your top 12 labs. So if for whatever reason you have a bad week, you're not able to turn in the lab, what have you, that's all right. You can miss one lab this semester and not have it affect your grade. If you don't miss any labs, then I'll just take your top 12 grades, and maybe you had a week where you weren't doing so hot, and don't worry, that grade will just be dropped off at the end of the semester. So at the end of the semester, I will be dropping your lowest lab grade. Same goes for your pre-lab quizzes. Pre-lab quizzes are 5-point quizzes that are given at the start of every lab period. They're made to check comprehension, ensure that you've read through the lab, and come prepared. Now, this is sort of a holdover from when we met in for labs in person. I want to ensure that you have read through the lab and you are coming prepared. The same holds true. These are great quizzes. They're great comprehension checks. They are not meant to be difficult. They are not meant to be challenging. They're just meant to make sure that you have done your part. You read through the lab. You're prepared to talk about that lab. We will meet every week at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, virtual labs, where I will post a quick video or meet in person with the class to talk about what are our expectations for the lab this week. You can work ahead in labs if you would like, but we're not going to do every exercise, and we're not going to do every single activity. Some of it'll just be a factor of time. Some lab activities, I did not write these labs myself. I did not write these lab sheets myself. So there are some things that I don't really like. That's not a very fair question, or the question is fair, but it's not written. I would just like to explain further in detail. So every week I will do a pre-lab lecture at 5 p.m. And so the expectation, though, is that you come to those lectures knowing a little bit about the lab, that you at the very least have read through the lab once and taken the pre-lab quiz, and then you've come prepared to discuss the lab for that evening. You can work ahead in the labs. You can do them as many and as fast as you want. That's up to you. But the idea is that every Wednesday evening, that is what we set apart for lab time. So that's when I expect that you will be able to work on your lab. Labs will be due the following Monday. So you will have time to work up those labs. But if you have any questions related to the lab activity, make sure you are doing them and asking them by that Wednesday evening. There's no guarantee that I will have time to sit down and make a video after 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. Our lecture times are from 5 to 9. After that, I expect that you have everything you need to work on that lab on your own. If you have questions, feel free to email me, but the only way to guarantee that your questions are going to get answered is to do it that evening. So I strongly recommend you attend our pre-lab meeting at 5. You then work on your labs, and if you have any questions, shoot me an email at that time. I will be live and available to answer any questions about the labs as we go along. All right, pre-lab quizzes. Again, there are 13 for the semester. I will only be grading your top 12 pre-lab quizzes. We are not going to be having any exams this semester, just because this class moves way too fast. This is a very quick lab. The first half, or very quick class. The first half of the semester is going to be spent covering all of the topics in Bio 101. The second half of the semester is covering all of the topics in anatomy and physiology. So we're not going very deep, but we are going very broad. This is a very broad course, and we're covering a lot of material, and so we're not going to be stopping off or taking up valuable class time on exams. Because of that, we do have those weekly online homework assignments / quizzes. Those are going to be used to check your comprehension. If you are not doing well on those homework assignments and quizzes, let me know immediately. And we can talk about, we can do another tutorial on any topics that you have, that you may be struggling with, because the final is going to come along faster than you know. This is a very quick semester, and that final will be here sooner than you think. So make sure that you are keeping up with the material as we go along. If there's something you don't understand, please let me know, because the topics will build on themselves. Everything that we learn in Chapter 2, Basic Chemistry, that's going to come back again and again and again. It's going to be very useful later on, and you're going to want to have a solid understanding. So if there's anything you don't understand or want to discuss, please share that with me. All right, I will let you read the rest of the American with Disabilities Act and the University Religious Observances Act. Moving into our course outline, this is going to be the most important section of the syllabus. I strongly recommend printing this out, taping it to your computer, putting it on, using this to make notes in your calendar. This is our schedule for the semester. This week we are covering chapters 1 and 2. This week we are doing this evening, we are doing labs, health and medicine, and microscopy and cells. By the end of Wednesday night, by the end of this evening, you should have a solid grip on all of these. You should be using your weekends to study. Don't be using your weekends to learn the material or expose yourself for the very first time. Because next week on Monday night, I expect that when we are discussing questions, we're discussing chapters 3 and 19. We're going to be discussing the labs, DNA structure, mitosis, and meiosis. So this week, we are discussing chapters 1 and 2, health and medicine, microscopy, and cells. If you have any questions about these chapters, bring them to me. We're going to discuss it next week. We're moving on rapidly. So use this outline, use this this schedule, this calendar for the semester to keep you on track, not just with assignments, but with the topics. This is also a great place to look. If you notice, we're not covering the topics in order. We're going to cover chapters 1, 2, 3, 19, 20, 21, 22. Then we're going to back up to 4, 5, 6, 4 through 18. And then we're going to jump ahead to 23, 24. The semester is built this way, so that way to try and make things a little bit more concise. Chapters 1 through 21 all talk about life at the cellular level or the molecular level. After that, evolution in our heritage ties in so nicely with DNA and biotechnology that I tucked it right in there. That's going to talk about natural selection. But then we're going to take the second half of the course from 4 through 18. This is going to be all about the organismal level. This is anatomy and physiology. So this is going to be human ecology, tissues and orientation, basic human anatomy. All of these things are going to be happening in the second half of the semester. And then we're going to finish out the semester with chapter 23 through 24, where we talk about ecology and human population. What you'll notice is that I've tried to have these labs go along with the chapters that they represent. It's been a little bit tricky. We have a lot of labs for the first half of the semester and no labs for the second half of the semester, or only 3 labs for the second half of the semester. So what I've done is I've taken membrane transport, chemistry of cells, enzyme activity. These are going to be more labor-intensive wet labs. I've put them towards the end of the semester because we were originally hoping that we could meet in person for some labs at the end of the semester, but that will not be the case. So we will not be meeting in person for these labs. However, I still need to plan and prepare these lab activities so that way they don't rely so heavily on data collected in the lab. Most likely you will be watching YouTube tutorial videos of other individuals doing similar labs. You will collect your data, share your data with the class, and then analyze your data in groups. So I'm still working on the format for these labs. Don't worry, we're not even going to get to them until mid-July, but just note that's why they're down here at the end, because we're still working on figuring them out. Right here, it says that the final exam consists of 2 parts, a Unit 5 exam and a comprehensive final. That is a holdover from a previous iteration of this course. We will just be having a final exam that is comprehensive and covers the entire semester. Our grading scale for this semester is a 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, and our evaluation is going to be worth sort of based on points. So I haven't, no assignments are weighted more heavily than others. Everything is just a point-based system. There are 15 Blackboard homework assignments worth 10 points each. 12 lab exercises, 12 pre-lab quizzes, and a comprehensive final. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.